Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning into today's video. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumors and leaks to go over, including Sony's strategy to continue to develop live service games. And if that strategy fails, there could be major repercussions for the future of the PS5 and the new PS6. Please hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video. And if you're new here to the channel, consider subscribing and becoming a channel member. So we're starting off today with Silent Hill F. Konami officially unveiled the game during its recent Silent Hill transmission showcase, giving fans a much needed update on this highly anticipated game. The game was first revealed back in 2022 and Silent Hill F had little to no details shared about it up until now, so nearly 3 years. With the latest showcase, we've gained insight into the game's setting, its protagonist and an eerie new trailer that sets the stage for what's to come in the future. While the new trailer is entirely CGI, it does not show any actual in-game gameplay. It offers a glimpse into the unsettling atmosphere and themes players can expect. Of course, Konami may later surprise us with gameplay that matches the polished quality of the trailer, but for now, the cinematic reveal gives us a sense of excitement of what's to come in the future. One of the most significant changes with Silent Hill F is its setting. This is the first game in the franchise to take place outside of the infamous town of Silent Hill, instead transporting players to 1960s Japan, specifically to a fictional town called Ibisugaoka. I hope I've pronounced that correctly, Ibisugaoka. The location is heavily inspired by a real town in the Jero region of Japan. The story centers around Shimizu Hinako, a young schoolgirl whose quiet life is upended when her town is suddenly enveloped in an eerie fog, wrapping it into something terrifying and unfamiliar. Motoi Okamoto, the game's producer, explained the decision to set Silent Hill F in Japan, and according to him, while Silent Hill as a series has always been created in Japan, its themes and horror elements had gradually drifted towards Western influences, and by moving the story to Japan, the development team aims to fully embrace the eerie and unique aspects of Japanese horror, while still maintaining the psychological and atmospheric elements that define the Silent Hill experience. The latest entry into the Silent Hill franchise promotes to maintain its signature blend of exploration, puzzle solving, and intense horror, while introducing fresh elements inspired by its new setting. While some may be skeptical about Silent Hill F taking such a different approach, Konami reassures players that it remains true to the series' core identity. Fans eager to experience this new take on Silent Hill can already wishlist the game on the PlayStation Store for PS5. However, no official date has been given. Given that we've only seen a cinematic trailer, it's likely that Silent Hill F is still quite away from release, possibly targeting maybe the end of 2026. Hopefully more information, including a potential release window, will emerge over the next coming months. Let me know what you think about this Silent Hill F game. Difficult to say for sure without actual gameplay. However, the trailer was okay, but I still feel we need more information about the game. I do like that the setting has changed. It freshens up the title a little bit more, and since we've only just had Silent Hill 2 Remake, which was absolutely brilliant, I'm really looking forward to more information about Silent Hill F. So let's move on. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 3 is now officially in development. Publisher Focus Entertainment, in collaboration with Games Workshop and Saber Interactive, have announced that the next installment is on the way. While no release date has been provided, the announcement assures fans that the sequel will stay true to the brutal, intense, and large-scale battles that defined the Warhammer 40,000 experience. John Burt, the deputy CEO of Focus Entertainment, expressed excitement over the franchise's continued success. He noted that the overwhelming positive reception of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 has encouraged them to continue expanding the series, and while Space Marine 2 remains a key focus for the studio with ongoing updates and new content planned, development for Space Marine 3 is already underway. And according to Burt, players can expect a thrilling campaign, a robust multiplayer mode, and groundbreaking innovations that aim to redefine third-person action games. Space Marine 2's success was undeniable. The game reportedly sold 5 million units within its first 3 months on the market, making it one of the most commercially successful Warhammer titles so far to date. Given these figures, it was never really a question of if a sequel would be made, only a matter of when, and the announcement of Space Marine 3 does come sooner than expected, especially considering considering the continued updates being rolled out for its predecessor. Matthew Karch, CEO of Saber Interactive, emphasized how transformative Space Marine 2 was for the studio, stating that it represented the culmination of 25 years of game development experience. The success of the game has given them the confidence to push even further with Space Marine 3, aiming for larger and more spectacular battles than ever before. And while details remain scarce, Saber Interactive and Focus Entertainment have assured fans that Space Marine 3 will build upon the foundation of its predecessors while taking the game experience to new heights. For now, players will have to wait for additional updates as development progresses. Great news if you're a fan of Warhammer Space Marine games, something definitely to look forward to over the next few years. Let's move on. Now, I know many people are going to react negatively to this bit of news. Even when I read it for the first time, my first reaction was, what the hell is Sony playing at? Are they trying to go bankrupt and piss off its gamers? Sony's strategy to continue to develop live service games could have a huge impact if that strategy does not work and pay off. It will definitely impact game development, as we are already seeing in this generation with a lack of big hitting AAA games from Sony first party. There could be major repercussions for the PS5 and the PS6 with the amount of first party games available if their live service push doesn't work, because as Sony invests huge funds of money into studio time, development time for live services, if they don't pay off and generate revenue, then that money's gone, that time is gone. That means less money for everybody else. But actually then I stepped away for a while. I had to think about this. I put on my business hat and had to think, and you know what? It kind of makes sense what Sony is doing. Despite facing setbacks in the live service gaming space, Sony appears to be doubling down on its efforts with live service gaming. So this comes about because a recent job listing for a UX and UI design lead at PlayStation Studios hints at the development of an unannounced live service title with a strong focus on competitive and esports elements. And the listing specifically mentions with experience of global gaming markets and competitive gaming esports landscape. And that suggests that Sony may be aiming to carve out a bigger presence in this sector. The job description outlines the responsibility that include overseeing the UX of the project from its early prototype stages to final release, and the successful candidate will play a crucial role in shaping the user experience, playtesting, and refining the game's social and economy systems. The listing also indicates that the game is being designed for multiple platforms, including PC and mobile, signaling a shift towards a broader accessibility of gamers. But to be fair, for its live service games, I would always expect the game to be on every platform. After all, live service games need online players, rather than single player games where there are enough gamers across the PlayStation platform who will go out and buy the game on launch to justify keeping those single player and AAA games exclusive to the platform. Certainly on launch, who knows further down the line whether they make their way to PC or not, but certainly at launch, there's enough people that will buy single player games. But with live service, I agree, get them everywhere. Sony's recent track record with live service games has been rocky to say the least. Concord, a highly hyped multiplayer shooter, launched in August last year but was quickly deemed a failure. It was a car crash and it was pulled offline within a month. The studio behind it, Firewalk Studios, was shut down shortly afterwards. Two other live service projects, one in development at Bend Studio and another reportedly set in the God of War universe at Bluepoint Games, were cancelled before seeing the light of day. The most notable cancellation was Naughty Dog's multiplayer project set in the Last of Us universe, which so many people were looking forward to. Given that it is Naughty Dog, the expectation was off the charts. Originally expected to be a revival of the beloved factions mode from the first game, this project was scrapped despite years of hard development and fan anticipation. These missteps have made some fans wary of Sony's continued investment in live service titles, especially given the company's historical strength in single-player, story-driven experiences. However, it's clear that Sony is not ready to abandon the live service market just yet. And as I mentioned at the start of this segment, with the business hat on, Sony has gotten to this stage of being a market leader by innovating, by creating new games, learning from its mistakes in the most part, developing amazing single-player games. They've got to this leading position in the industry, and now it's trying to learn how to deliver good live service games, and it's nowhere near it yet. It's a million miles away, but they're not going to give up, are they? Let's think about this. They're not going to give up and stop delivering live service games because they've made mistakes. It's not something that they are going to move away from, and we all need to accept that. They're not just going to have every studio work on live service games, which is the biggest mistake under Jim Ryan. His mistake was having all studios focus on live service games games, and the output in single player games dropped significantly, and that was Jim Ryan's mistake. If Jim Ryan has said to all the studios, just do what you're good at, make great single player games, and we'll have 1 or 2 studios experimenting with live service games so we can learn from their successes and their mistakes, I don't think people would have had too much of an issue with that. I don't think people would have minded. What people hate is that at the expense of single player games, which we all love, these studios were forced to focus on live service games, which were underwhelming, ended up being shut down, studios were closed, and development time was wasted. And as a result, single player games we were looking forward to have been pushed back by 3 to 5 years. And in place of new games and new sequels, we get 4 years of remakes and remasters. So whilst I don't want to be critical of Sony and its push for live service gaming, I think what they're doing now, having a couple of studios work on live service games while the rest are working on single player titles, is how it should have been done and handled from the start. Make no mistake, live service games from Sony is part of their long-term strategy. This is something that will happen when Sony get it right. It will be one of their offerings. They want to be able to offer both great single-player games and live service multiplayer games, both coexisting, not at the expense of each other. Let me know your thoughts on this topic down below in the comments, and let's move on. Rise of the Ronin, the ambitious action RPG from Team Ninja. For me, a sleeper hit since it launched on the PS5. The game, set in 19th century Japan during a time of great political and social upheaval, places players in the role of a custom-created warrior working their way through a world filled with conflict, choice, and intense combat. Now, featuring a blend of historical accuracy and engaging gameplay, the title allows players to explore well-known cities such as Yokohama, Edo, which is now Tokyo, and Kyoto, as well as the countryside and other areas within the game. During a recent interview, Yosuke Hayashi, who is the executive vice president at Koei Tecmo, and Fumihiko Yasuda, who is the head of Team Ninja, shared insights into the game's development and the importance of PlayStation support and the challenges that were faced with the PC release of the game. According to Hayashi, Rise of the Ronin would not have started without PlayStation's backing. This partnership was crucial in shaping the game's development, providing both financial support and key insights into making the game more accessible and polished. Yasuda echoed this sentiment, emphasizing that PlayStation Studios played an active role in refining onboarding accuracy and improving overall gameplay mechanics. Originally a PlayStation 5 exclusive, Rise of the Ronin was later announced for PC with a release date on Steam for March the 11th. Now, the transition to PC was met with great anticipation, great hype, as many people were eager to experience the game on PC. Yasuda mentioned that while the content of the game remained unchanged, the studio took player feedback from the PS5 version into account, working to ensure a stable and optimized performance. Given the complexity and the scale of the game, one of the key priorities was to make a steady frame rate across different hardware configurations. Now, unfortunately, the PC launch has not been as smooth as many had hoped. While Rise of the Ronin received strong reviews for its gameplay and storytelling on PS5, the PC version has been plagued with performance issues. Many players have reported significant problems, including frame rate drops, stuttering, and high system requirements that make it difficult to achieve a consistent experience. These technical difficulties have led to the game receiving a mixed rating on Steam, with many users expressing frustration over the lack of optimization. Once again, for me personally, another reason why I don't game on PC. Even though I've got an incredible gaming PC setup, it's a really beefed up, powerful PC, the number of games that hit PC with consistent performance issues, stuttering and frame drops and so on, I'd much rather pop in a disc into my PS5 Pro and enjoy the console experience with zero issues. And as of now, Team Ninja has yet to announce any downloadable content for Rise of the Ronin, despite speculations that expansions or additional story content would be in the works. Yasuda stated that while there's no immediate plans for DLC, the studio remains committed to improving the game and addressing player concerns. Given the rocky start on PC, Team Ninja will likely focus on patching up the performance issues on PC before they consider any new content. For now, fans of the game will have to wait and see how Team Ninja addresses the PC version's technical shortcomings, strong foundation of the game itself remains intact, and it's a great experience playing the game, especially on console. It offers an engaging mix of fast-paced combat, exploration, and historical intrigue. If the developers can get this right and resolve the performance problems on PC, Rise of the Ronin has the potential to reach an even wider audience beyond its original PlayStation player base. Okay guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below on the topics discussed in the video today. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the next video.